Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday, September 8th, 2021 Chatham Airport Commission meeting beginning at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a remote participation only meeting, and it is also live broadcast on Channel 18. Pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16th, 2021 signing of an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, including the extension of his March 12th, 2020 order, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, section 30A, subsection 20, until April 1st, 2022. This meeting of the Chatham Airport Commission is being conducted via remote participation only. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by calling the phone number 508-945-4410 and enter conference ID 600-999-444, followed by a hashtag. Or you can join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. While this is a live broadcast and simulcast on Channel 18, despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide for real-time access. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. I would request before I start the meeting that everyone manage their microphones and video. I would request that the commissioners have their video on, if at all possible, and that their microphones are muted except for this next thing, which will be roll call. I would also ask the public to mute their microphones and turn off their videos unless they're ready to speak at some point. So before we go on, we'll find out who's here and make sure we can have a quorum. First off, Commissioner Burke emailed me earlier today and said he would not be able to attend. Commissioner Cortese?
Here.
I heard you, but yeah, okay, I got you. It's really low. Okay, Commissioner Donovan?
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Galen?
Here.
Commissioner Owens?
Here.
Commissioner Wilcox, I got an email today that she will not be in attendance this evening. And Commissioner Harrison here. So we have 5, which is a quorum. Moving on. Do we have any additions, corrections, or deletions in the minutes of August 11th, 2021? Anyone have any comments on that? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to accept the August 11th, 2021 minutes.
Motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
And that was Commissioner Owens who seconded.
Sure.
Thank you. Commissioner Cortese, for those in favor, Commissioner Cortese,
Yes.
Commissioner Donovan,
Yes.
Commissioner Galen,
Yes.
Commissioner Owens,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison, yes, 5-0 accept. Okay. Public announcements and agenda item requests for adopted policy. Is there anyone out there who has an agenda item request or an announcement? Any public comments on new business items per the adopted policy? All right. New business. I will go through commissioner reports. I received. I'm going to do the. I'm going to do the report on the revolving fund in Commissioner Burke's absence. The FY22 year to date, which is for July and August, we have no beginning balances yet as the audit is still being completed by the town. However, in the first 2 months, there have been debits to the revolving fund of $37,124.45, a credit of $424,953.70 for an ending balance in the revolving fund of $387,829.25. So a lot of money that had been requested from the federal government and from the state government has come in, and that helped balance the books. I'm sure there'll be money going out over the next few months. I will say this, that the hangars are paid up through the third quarter. I think shy of 2, but I think we're in good shape there. And just for everyone's edification, the revolving fund cap for fiscal year 22 is $75,000. So, Commissioner Cortese, anything for the good of the order?
Is that sound better, by the way?
A little bit.
Okay.
Nothing?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Or yes.
All right. I'm just taking a note here. Commissioner Donovan, anything to report?
Nothing for me, thanks.
Nothing for you? Okay. Commissioner Galen?
Nothing today.
Nothing today. Commissioner Owens?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Recently, myself and a couple of the other commissioners stopped up at the fisherman's storage area. There's not much gear left up there right now because I imagine it's all being used. There's still a lot of old equipment, trailers, and some discarded stuff up there that still needs to be removed, I guess. Anyway, recently the town manager sent a letter to each of the lessees stating that all the gear must be removed by November 19th, 2021, when the area will be closed. And hopefully it'll be left in a nice, clean, natural condition. Then we can start to move forward with coming up with some better uses for it at this time to try to make the airport a little bit of money. Other than that, that's it for me tonight. Thanks.
All right. Let's see. Who's next? Commissioner Owens, Commissioner Wilcox, not here. Commissioner Harrison, I have nothing. I just did the revolving fund report, and I think that'll do it for now. All right. We don't have to vote on those. Those are just general reports. Let's move on to the airport manager's report. Mr. Howard.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Harrison. So
just tilt your phone down just a little bit. Or, there you go.
All right. So this month, not a whole lot to report. You have the guard report for August there. The weather for August was a fair bit better than July. So activity was certainly its peak for the season in August. The item 2 on the manager's report, the U.S. Coast Guard event for the future Coast Guard Museum that was scheduled on the 2nd of September was canceled due to foul weather that day. At this time, we don't have any a rain date or anything new scheduled, but at some point it will be reset, yet to be determined. Item number 3, damage to the airport property and buildings during with the aftermath of Hurricane Henry and of Ida. Really pretty much nothing. We did a lot of prep. No damage noted, just some branches down. So we fared quite well with that. So fortunately, and we have nothing else to report at this time.
Are there any questions for the airport manager, for Mr. Howard? Okay, in that case, I'll entertain a motion to accept the airport manager's report.
So moved.
Okay.
Motion.
And I think we had Mr. Owens, and I think it was Mr. Cortese who seconded.
Yep.
Okay. We'll go through and vote. Commissioner Cortese,
Yes.
Commissioner Donovan,
Yes.
Commissioner Galen,
yes,
Commissioner Owens,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison, yes. Manager's report is accepted. Okay. And
Thank
we'll
you.
go on to the engineer's report. Mr. Karen, if you wouldn't mind.
I don't mind at all.
There you go.
Chairman Harrison, good evening. Members
Good
of the Chatham Airport Commission, good evening. So light update this month. The final environmental assessment, as you all know, was posted to the Commission's website for review by the Commission and the public. Following I think it was last month's meeting, comments were being accepted through September 3rd, 2021. I've heard from the FAA that they've received comments. Richard Doucette is processing those comments, and he's expecting to make a decision on the final EA and get back to me with any sort of changes that may need to occur as part of the public comment period. So still waiting on those, but I think he's hopeful to have a decision made shortly. So I'll report back once I know something. Huntley, I'll just shoot you an email or give you a call, and then that way you can let the rest of the commission know. And then certainly we'll get any final EA back up onto the commission's website, or if there are changes, I'll need a little bit of time to go through the document and then get that back to you to post on the commission's website.
Great. Okay, I'm sure there'll be great interest in that once it gets published. Do any of the commissioners have any questions for Mr. Karen on the EA and the process going forward? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to accept the engineer's report. Before that, one question.
No question. Just wanted to add one more thing, Huntley, if it's okay. And that is the airport's capital improvement program meeting with the FAA and Mass DOT occurred on August 24th, 2021. Based on that discussion, we're revising or updating, if you will, the CIP and passing that before the funding agencies for their final review and comment. And most likely at the October meeting, if it's okay with you, I'll probably do a presentation on that and explain the next series of projects that are coming up.
Sounds good to me. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions now that Mr. Karen has added that little comment? We're good? Okay. All right. Do I hear a motion to accept the engineer's report?
so moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Second.
I heard you. Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Cortese. Roll call to accept the. Commissioner Cortese, can you hear me?
Yep, it's breaking in and out, but yes, yes to accept.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Donovan?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Galen?
yes,
Commissioner Owens?
yes,
Commissioner Harrison, yes. Carries 5-0. All right, we do have an action item, gentlemen, on the crack ceiling bid. We have to vote on this because and approve the purchase order, which is in the package. Just a little background on this. We contacted 3 vendors because we knew we had to go out for bid on this. The vendors were Nycom, Axtel, and Indus. Nycom withdrew because they were unable to schedule a site visit in order to measure and so on. So they withdrew. Axtel, who I believe is fairly distant from here. I think they're down in the Pennsylvania area.
Correct.
When we contacted them, it was no thank you. Mr. Howard, I see you just opened up your screen. Is that correct? Are they down in Pennsylvania?
That's correct.
Okay, so I don't think they wanted to go that far. So Indus is an organization that is in Braintree. So they're obviously relatively close, and turned out to be the only bidder. And they actually came and looked at the job and measured it. And their bid for the work is $13,717. So I'll open the floor to discussion on this if there are any questions. And then once we discuss this and answer questions, we can do a roll call vote. Anyone have any questions on the Indus purchase order? $13,717. We're good. Okay, just a note on that. The original quote that we had separated the job into 3 different sections. It was much more expensive if they had to come down 3 times. So we asked them to consolidate it, and this is the price they gave us, $13,717, significantly less than if we had to have them down 3 separate times. So hearing no further questions, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to add, Mr. Chairman, the 3 areas that we're addressing are the large parking ramp, the paved tarmac ramp, the runway, and the T-hanger apron areas.
Okay. Any further questions on the Indus?
Sure, Mr. Howard, is it all of the T-hanger ramp areas?
The areas that a part of that area was recently reconstructed with our taxiway project, so not that area. It's the remaining old sections that are covered.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to accept the purchase order for $13,717 from Indus Incorporated for the crack ceiling project. Do I hear a motion?
so moved.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
second,
Thank you. All right, any further discussion? Okay. Commissioner Cortese?
Yes,
Thank you. Commissioner Donovan?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Galen?
Yes,
Commissioner Owens?
yes,
And Commissioner Harrison, yes. The motion carries I will sign this purchase order tomorrow, and we will get that project underway. All right. Before we close out, I want to share with the public, if I can do it. Let's see. Share content. I want to bring up the piece of future projects, just to review with everyone what they are. It doesn't, my sharing here doesn't seem to be working the way I'd like it to. Let's see. Is there anyone on the staff who could give me a little hand with this? I'd like to share my screen.
Hey Huntley, do you see an arrow pointing up next to the leave button?
I do. Do I have to have something on the screen first?
If you hit that button, it'll give you some options. It'll open a tray that you could select from.
All right. Well, I did that. It just kind of spun around. And do it again.
Try again.
I got a little circle that just spinning around.
Okay, then you're having some sort of malfunction with your software. You should see some options, your screen or an open window.
All right. Well, I'll skip it. I'll just go through it manually then. I thought I could do that. On our future projects, we have coming up, now that we're done with the master plan and done, more or less done with the environmental assessment, we have the minimum standards discussion to continue in the future. This we will revisit probably, if not during this year, at the beginning of 2022. That discussion was tabled in 2017 due to the master plan and ultimately the environmental assessment work that we did. We had the update on the environmental assessment today. We have yet to determine anything about the master plan additional hangars. That information will be discussed at a later meeting as we figure out when that will happen. And that dovetails with the capital improvement plan. The airport master plan update that started in October 2018 to February 2021. We had chapter revisions that were all posted online. What I'd like to do at some point, and again, this may have to wait till 2022, is to perhaps organize some small group meetings where we could discuss individual parts of the master plan with the public, whether it be at a formal commission meeting or in small group meetings like we had started back in March of 2020, just before everything closed down due to the COVID virus. We have a lot of future agenda requests from citizens. Many of them have to do with the environmental assessment, so those will get postponed until later on. There are a couple in there that you'll see that have strike-throughs. I have sent emails on those to answer those particular requests. I also have a request here from Mr. Haas about communicating technical information to the public. And I think I more or less just answered that. Renee, if you're still on, you can hear this. It has to do with those small group meetings. And I'd like to get those organized and use a variety of people to help organize that, not just necessarily commission members. So I think it's going to take some time to put all that together, but that's what I'd like to do. And I think Dana Quinn had a request on that as well for a particular topic on circling approaches. The communication program, that Mr. Haas requested. Again, Commissioner Galen and I are working on that. I think we've been kind of, I guess you could say, consumed with the environmental assessment. We haven't really made much progress there, but I think it's something that we can do in-house. I don't know if we're going to necessarily need to get a formal contract with a public relations agency, but we don't know yet. I don't think we're that far along to make that decision. Commissioner Galen, do you have any comments on that?
Okay, now that I've unmuted. No, I think Huntley, you've summed it up quite well. We've interviewed, we've talked to a couple of agencies. We continue to talk to them, as well as assess what's going on. We don't want to just hire someone for the sake of hiring them if there's not much they can handle and do. And they haven't really come across with a huge outpouring of planning as such. But we do have two particular agencies that we like, that we will continue discussing as things go forward.
Okay. Thank you. There are a couple of other items here that are EA related. Mr. Buckley asked how the commission selects agenda topics, and I will write a response on that for him. Ms. Lofgren has some questions about a budget and the year-end report for fiscal year 21. Since that's still being put together, I will address that with her subsequently once I get those files. And finally, Mr. Haas had an interesting comment and request on discussing and on adding historical content information to the website concerning what the airport provides for the community. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think it would be a nice idea to have a history of the airport on the website. I think if we can get permission to have this, I don't know if everyone can see that. This is this is the document that's fading out there. It's called, I don't know how to do this. Well, anyway, it's Mon Rev, called My Dream. It's the story of Wilfred Berube and his airport at Chatham. I think if we can get permission to reproduce this and put it on the website, I think it would be a very nice addition to the website. And that's something I want to work on. Mr. Haas, do you have any further comments on your request we'd like to add?
Okay, thank you, Chairman Harrison. I appreciate that. I just believe that whatever is done, it should be that when you Google Chatham Municipal Airport, it should come up with, what is the airport, and a little bit about its background, and a little bit about its, benefit to the community, and what kind of an airport it is, and so forth. Many airports. Right now, frankly, if you Google Chatham Municipal Airport, you get, chathamairport.com, which, with no disrespect to our airport manager and the Cape Cod Flying Circus, what you find at the top of the list is basically, kind of an ad for, a nice advertisement for some great activities that you can do at Chatham Airport. But it doesn't talk about the airport itself. When the headline shouldn't be, well, what are the federal government regulations governing, all sorts of stuff, which is technical and very important, but it should be, something about, just, about the airport. And, I'd like to, I think it would be great if, we have a positive narrative, which, there's an awful lot of positive things that can be said and written, about the airport, and not just the historical stuff. And that should be what, what pops up, when you search for Chatham Municipal Airport.
Well, I think it's a good idea. I'm all for it. I think what you and I can do offline perhaps is start talking about a process, and then I can bring it back to the commission in October. Whoops, sorry, feedback. I'm going to bring this back down. There. Apologies. I think what we need is people interested in doing some writing on the topic, or at least writing about giving ideas so that people who are doing the writing can put this together. But I think it's a nice idea and worth pursuing. So I thank you for that request.
One thing, Huntley.
Yeah, go ahead.
Renee, it's not as simple as you might think to get the town's CQX pages pop up first. Search engine optimization to get Google's attention and such is a little more complicated, unfortunately. So there's not much we can do. There's a little bit, but not much we can do to get our website ahead of Tim's, so to speak.
Right. I recognize that. I think that and I am not a search engine optimization wizard or guru, so I have to defer on that topic. But I do believe that there's things that can be done even when you're not the top item. That's fine that that Tim's comes up at the top of the list. But when you go to the Chatham Airport, one of the first things you see should be background information rather than diving into the details, if possible. But as in terms of how we structure the Chatham Airport section of the town website.
All right. Well, these are things we can work with the town on and just see what they say, see if there's a way to do it, to make certain things a little more prominent. But I think, as I said, I think it's worthwhile moving forward with, and I think I'd like to pursue that. So thank you.
All right, well, thank you.
Just a couple of pieces of information for the commissioners and the public. Not that I see many of the public here today, as I look down the list of guests. We're having a joint meeting with the Select Board on Tuesday, September 14th. That's next Tuesday. Please mark your calendars, commissioners. It's at 5:30 p.m. And we will be discussing the areas of responsibility and for the Airport Commission and for the Select Board and the town. It's a kind of a do-over of the December meeting that we had involving governance, but we'll call this Governance 2, and it will outline for the public exactly who has responsibility for what and authority for what. So please mark your calendars for September 14th. That will be, barring any particular situations, a command performance for everybody. And then our next commission meeting is October 13th at 5 p.m. And that's our next regular business meeting. That's the second Wednesday in October, if I'm not mistaken. And that will be our meeting, 5 p.m., October 13th. But next Tuesday, the 14th, is our joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen. Are there any other comments from the public or commissioners? Mr. Howard.
Will that governance meeting be a hybrid meeting, or all remote, or all in person?
I believe it's hybrid. And I will let the commissioners know about attendance. I think I'm not going to force anyone to go if they feel uncomfortable about going. But I think
Where will the physical location be? Will it be at the annex?
Yeah, in the annex. Yeah, apparently there are about 30 seats in there, socially distanced seats. You'd have to wear a mask to attend, or if you would like, you can, attend remotely. I'll have details on that and contact the commissioners as I find out more about it this week. All right. Hearing no further comments from anybody, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Aha.
Second,
Thank you. Okay, roll call for adjournment. Commissioner Cortese. Commissioner Cortese, adjournment? Yes? No?
yes.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Yep. Commissioner Donovan.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Galen.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Owens
Yes.
and Commissioner Harrison. Yes. Adjournment